What's going on, guys? I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the Game Talk podcast. We're on to episode 87. I guess the guys have a few things to talk about. Might be E3 related, who knows? But we know for sure it's all about the games when it comes to E3, and it's about the hype. It's about getting hyped up for shit, getting happy, knowing that your favorite titles can possibly be right around that corner. So we're going to go ahead and start the show, and I hope you guys enjoy tonight's segment. I really do. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and unmute them, and let's get going.
Graphics related.
Graphics related? You don't say.
Well, I'm just talking about how my computer keeps crashing, but that's the topic for another time. Is the stream up right now?
Yeah, we are. We're live.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, I know. Does it make you moist?
Makes you
No.
moist in an oyster.
Moisture is an oyster. So we got two special guests tonight. We have Ziad, who's been with the group for a very long time, and Rokon, who's also been with the group for a good while. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Nintendo dropped a bombshell, and I want to talk about it.
Well, Ziad, by all means, the floor is yours. Go for it.
2 Metroid announcements. There was once a time where I might have been excited for this. With how shittily they've been handling Metroid now, I'm really, really apprehensive about these 2 releases.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Especially since one of them is their own remake of Metroid 2. What the hell?
I kind of feel like it's gonna be.
That's Nintendo for you, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
they hype everything up, and then when they finally deliver it, nobody just cares anymore.
they just sold you Mario Kart 8 not too long after they sold you Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, they call it Metroid Samus Returns. It's going to be on the 3DS, and it's releasing September 15th. It's actually coming pretty close, pretty soon. And, well, it's a completely new 3D remake, 2.5D remake of Metroid 2.
Yeah.
And considering we have the fan game, this game better live up to the fan game standards, because the fan game got everything right.
Yeah.
The control was perfect. The level design was was really good. Graphically, obviously, for a 16-bit style game or something like that, it looks really good. The soundtrack is great. So I'm gonna be holding this, Metroid Samus Returns to those standards. It better knock the game design out of the ballpark.
Right, I agree with you. If they're going to hype something up, and it's been years since they've actually gave Samus any freaking love, they better fucking do good, dude. They better do good by her and the community. I mean, that character alone has been fucking neglected. I mean, we got
She was a side character. She was a side character in Federation Force.
Yeah, and we got, that, and not to mention, in the Wii U, the last bit of love she got was when we were able to buy that whole collection for $20. It was on that Nintendo sale. I mean,
yeah, you could get the Metroid Prime trilogy for $20.
Yeah, I did. I fucking love that series, and that was the only love that anybody ever heard from her on. It was what the fuck? What happened? AM2R, I strongly believe AM2R brought her back to life in a big way with the community, because Nintendo wasn't handling it. Nintendo wasn't doing shit with it. And AM2R was released. Yeah, exactly. And AM2R, it touched on a lot of things that people really wanted. And now we know why Nintendo pulled the plug. Me and Metrox were talking about this last night. It was why they were pulling the plug on it. But, look how long that took them, though, you guys. How long did AM2R take to make versus what they're coming up with? I mean, Jesus Christ.
AM2R was an 8-year project.
Right, but you were still able to play it. Early into its series.
Yeah, I played and downloaded every single demo. There was I follow the project since the very beginning. Here's the thing. There was a tech demo released prior to this called Metroid Confrontation. It was made by the same guy. It was supposed to show off, hey, here's what the Metroid 2 remake is trying to offer. Mm-hmm. And I was around when that was still getting updated, before you even showed the first demo of the game. I followed the project since basically the very beginning.
You and my boy Metro, dude. Metro did the same shit. He followed that entire project from the very beginning. And he was ecstatic when he got to play it. He was just that's all I heard about for weeks was how great AM2R was. So I'm glad you guys
And
were
it
able to
is.
finally enjoy it, and it is, yeah. Was there anything
And
else that you're looking
here's-
for through with Nintendo? Like, I like that fucking Mario, dude. Mario looks sexy.
I haven't checked out anything. I haven't watched basically any of the E3 except for the Xbox One X thing and what's called the 2 Metroid trailers.
Right, and
And by the way, the
Yoshi,
second
and Yoshi's
Metroid
getting a
trailer-
game.
The second Metroid quote unquote trailer, which is more or less just saying, "Hey, we're working on this," is Metroid Prime 4. Here's the thing: it's not made by the same developer.
I don't know if it's gonna be good then.
I'm really apprehensive now.
Same. We all know we all know what it's like to have these series to go on and be good, and then all of a sudden new hands come in and they mishandle that shit like no other.
They
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have some massive shoes to fill.
Definitely.
So, like, it's like with what they've done with Metroid, with like the whole AM2R incident and Federation Force, I'm holding these two games to some pretty high standards.
Yeah,
I'm not
and you
as
should be,
mediocrity
and you
anymore
should.
for
Everybody else should be in the same exact boat as you, dude.
I've waited effectively 7 years for another Metroid game. These games better be good.
I
I don't count Federation Force. That's not a Metroid game. That's a co-op first-person shooter with a Metroid slapped on the front.
I'm sorry, but I heard the game was shit.
The game on its own merits is fine, but it's not a good Metroid game by any means.
Fair enough.
So that's
You want to hold a healthy
It's-
skepticism about
it's-
this one.
it's boring as single player though. I've tried playing it as single player and it just gets way too hard, way too quick, and it's just, in my opinion, too boring to try and continue on your own.
Yeah.
So, nah.
What about you, Rokon? Did you keep up with any of the Nintendo stuff?
Odyssey looks interesting. The XCOM-esque Mario game also looks pretty dang, you know.
Wait,
That's
wait,
something I want to try out.
wait. Really? They're gonna have an XCOM like game, but with Mario?
Yeah, it's
No,
the,
I need to see
the
this.
collaboration with Mario and Raven Rabbids.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that game.
Huh.
And, yeah, so like you have Mario, and he's followed by a Raven Rabbit dressed as Peach and Luigi.
Yeah.
And you just go into like these little battlefield zones, and it's literally just XCOM. You can move the characters the way you want them to. They have accuracies.
Now the question is there gonna be permadeath?
I don't know. If Mario's done, then no more Mario games.
That would be
boys.
different, wouldn't it?
It's
What?
too kid friendly. Nintendo's kid friendly. Let's be real. But
Well, okay. To be fair, like this isn't from Nintendo, but at one point in one of like the Game Gear Sonic games, Tails can actually die if you don't get all those Chaos Emeralds.
Really?
Like in story, he
I
actually
remember
dies
that,
as one of
yeah.
them.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I
That's-
hope if there is permadeath, that would make the game that much more challenging. But
Since you mentioned XCOM, the only thing I can think of is 99% hit chance completely misses.
that's what I
Wow.
was watching.
Gun in face still misses.
That's happened to me so much in XCOM. It's kind of the reasons why I don't really play XCOM that much anymore. I used to be a crackhead on it. I got my sniper, like all this cool ass shit. She had fucking robotic legs, the whole 9 yards. Put all this time into her, and she was like 2 hit points off, dude. And like fucking my sniper rifle literally missed at point blank range. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I can't do this anymore. God damn it.
There are
Give me a
still
second. I found it. Let me post this in shitpost real quick.
there's a
There
few
it
things
is.
that I do want to know about the Mario game. And like my first biggest question is, can I swap characters or can I add new characters? Because they literally showed like 4, and they were dressed as Peach and Luigi, which was kind of weird. So it's like, can I not just use the original Peach and Luigi in this game, or like what can I do with this? And there's still a few questions I need answered.
Yeah, I agree. And that is kind of sad though. Like I see the Latio dial put in the chat. It says Monster Hunter World is targeting a stable 30 FPS. No.
Oh boy.
On what,
Uh-uh.
Switch?
No, on PC. Like hell no.
Really?
That's like Monster Hunter. Okay, so like the Monster Hunter MMO has been out for a long time, and last I checked, that goes way above and beyond 30 FPS, and there's no reason why these guys can't make it go 60 or unlock their cap.
Don't you know anything? Gamers don't care about 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
Especially not the PC, especially not PC players. What are we talking about?
Phil Spencer says so.
The thing,
Exactly.
I really hate to burst his fucking bubble.
The 60 frames per second isn't as important.
If I wanted to play my console at 30 FPS, I would go and boot up my fucking PlayStation 2 and my PlayStation 3.
Oh yeah, sweet. Like
I
two
didn't buy a
games.
PC just so I could be limited.
Well,
That's
knowing the PC modding community, they're probably gonna unlock it anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. The modding community is pretty good. So someone did actually mention Minecraft down below. You guys, like as silly as it sounds, yes, I am looking forward to 4K Minecraft. But here's the thing: not because
Really?
it's 4K. Just listen, not because it's 4K, not because it's 4K, but because they're automatically implementing the DB mod into the game as a standard way of playing the game. If anybody knows anything about Minecraft, that DB mod is
mod?
yeah. That DB. Do you not know about the DB mod?
Give me
Or
a moment.
like you're talking about.
It's where they add shadow casting and stuff behind objects for a natural
okay,
look
yeah.
and stuff like
Oh.
that. Glass
Oh,
like
you mean
water
shaders.
shaders.
natural
yeah.
look.
Then.
Yeah,
A natural look in a blocky,
not
in a
the
blocky world.
not the flat palette that we've been playing for years, but it's gonna be getting some depth to it, and I'm actually happy for that. I think Microsoft's doing a good thing getting that shit in there. I mean, I mentioned this before, you guys, but I mean, these guys had a question about, so I just wanted to kind of touch on that. All right, so
You
Nintendo
wanna know
is
what I'd
still
like to see?
yeah.
You know what I'd like to see for Minecraft on console? A fucking FOV slider. You know these consoles are powerful enough to have it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Like, come on now.
There's other games that have it. I know that.
Yeah, I know. And like Doom has it. Minecraft could do.
Smite has it for
Do it,
all
for
for
fuck's
both
sake.
consoles. I think
Titanfall 2 has it.
Titanfall 2 has it. Yeah. Even Battlefield 1, I believe.
Yeah, it goes up to
Yeah,
120
it
from.
does.
If
I'm
not-
pretty sure
not
Battlefield
wrong.
4 has it.
It probably does.
Anyway, you said back to Nintendo, so.
Yeah, so I was kind of like at work today, just kind of fiddling around with the Nintendo E3 stuff, kind of skipping through stuff, and that Arms game, watching the pros play it for their invitation for the invitational for Arms that they had, looks interesting, but not bad enough to a point where I want to go out and buy a Switch. But I would probably go out and buy a Switch for the Yoshi game. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll say it like a man right now.
There's a Yoshi.
Somebody, Dr. Trey tweeted out that Yoshi game looks better than Uncharted 4 and God of War.
Is he talking about pure polygons or texture quality? What's he talking about?
I have
And-
with Dr. Trey,
which God of War?
He's
the
talking
new
about
one,
God of War 4 or 3?
God of War 4.
No.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, this is Dr. Trey we're talking about.
Trey, like he's an okay guy, but like his knowledge on
He's a
things,
fucking idiot.
yeah, his knowledge on things, he's kind of lacking in the knowledge.
People lessons on the Super Nintendo, and he never owned a Super Nintendo.
I'm looking at this Yoshi game footage right here, and well, the only thing that I can one thing that I'm not really liking is
by
how
any
like
means,
the animations look kind of stiff, like when he's turning corners and stuff.
Yeah,
But that's just me.
and yes, Storm, I'm vaping. I got the vape game on, bro. What's up?
Can you not like vape? Can you like you're like a beginner? That's what it is. That's what.
Oh, Kirby. Well, Shaq, I didn't see Kirby, bro. Like, okay, so he's saying Kirby. You guys,
Kirby.
did you guys see the Kirby? I guess they announced Kirby. They're
I
getting
don't watch Nintendo.
they're getting a full-on Kirby release.
Yeah, I don't watch Nintendo, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking. Oh yeah, I think I saw a picture for this, but I never actually watched it.
is it like the Kirby that used to come out for like the Super Nintendo, or is it
I have
with a twist?
more than likely with Nintendo, it's the same Kirby they've been doing for the last I don't know however many Kirby's.
Right.
I mean, I'm down for any Kirby game. It's just
So am I. Like, I want it to look good, though. I just want it to look
Yeah.
good. I don't want it to be back to square one.
No,
like,
if it wasn't for the Switch, I might give a shit. But
Yep,
since it's
same
a
here.
Switch,
There's a new Kirby
I don't
game.
give a
I'll
shit
post the
about.
trailer for
I don't
it.
give a shit.
There-
I don't give a shit about Nintendo at all.
there's two things. There's two things that have really. Let's talk about the Switch real quick. There's two things, just two, that have really hindered my want for that console. One of it is being, I'm sorry, but a 3D printed plastic holder for your fucking TV. Are you serious? That thing flexes, and it's been known to scratch the fucking screens.
And
Like,
it overheats your Switch if you leave it in there for too long and play it.
see, I can't do it. Yeah, like that's kind of a thing. That's kind of a deal breaker for me. So like it would have to, but here's the thing: it would have to go down in price, and I would only use it as a portable device. I would not use it for my TV ever, because that shit
No,
is
'cause you get-
ridiculous.
honestly,
Picture quality on the TV.
a lot
Do
of
what?
people probably end up using it through for its
You get-
portability anyway.
Yeah,
Quality when you hook it up to your TV.
yeah.
Here's me with here's my thing with the Switch. I'm waiting for two things to happen. One, they iron out some bugs, and two, certain games get released. Like I'm waiting for Mario Odyssey. I'm waiting for Metroid Prime 4. Okay, Metroid Prime 4 is probably gonna be like another year or two before it comes out.
I know, right?
Because they literally, like, the only quote unquote trailer that they showed was just saying, "Hey, we're working on this." That's it. Like it just shows you a nebula that zooms out and then it forms a 4, and then they put the Metroid Prime logo on there. That's all it is.
Oh, well,
I mean,
here.
it looks cool, but it doesn't tell me anything about the game.
So here's my thing. Like, so the second thing that bothered me, right, is the fucking headphone situation. Like, that is the dumbest chat setup that Nintendo could ever possibly fucking make.
I need to use my phone to voice chat with my Switch. Why don't I just call someone instead?
Right? That's just,
Or, you know, sit next to my computer and call someone on Discord.
Like, what the fuck were they thinking, dude? They were like,
Instead of paying $20 a month.
yo, fuck that fee, dude. I like, if I don't, like, here's the thing, my Wii U, I barely, and I mean this, barely got online. You know what I used my Wii U for? Fucking Xenoblade, Wii games, like the fighters and shit. And that was it. Like, I didn't really play online. I played like 2 games that were online. That was Monster Hunter and Mario Kart, and that was to play my friend all the way from the fucking UK. And you know what? It worked pretty fucking good. Their online shit, I always tell people, the Wii U's best feature is probably their fucking online. It's actually really good. No one really ever talked about it, but hey, it's pretty fucking good.
A hell of a lot better than the original Wii's online.
Look, the last thing I need is to get on my phone and listen to some random across the country telling me how bad the fuck my mom's I don't need that.
He's got a point there.
The one thing you can say about Sony and Microsoft with their pay to play online service is at least they give you. I mean, you could argue between the three. At least Sony and Microsoft give you some sort of quality for the pricing of what they do compared to the $20 a month that Nintendo's giving you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
because it's seamless. You don't have to have any sort of extra shit hanging up to it. You get actual games that you can actually play and enjoy, not Super Nintendo games and
Right.
regular NES games.
Although
Right.
that's just, to me, I'd still rather play those games than a lot of modern games these days.
I have no interest in. I lost interest in Nintendo once the original Zelda. I got done with the original Zelda.
Okay.
About Nintendo 16.
Personally, like, my thing is with Nintendo at this moment is, like, there's one thing I'm definitely not going to do. I am not going to go out and buy a fucking Switch like I did my Wii U, okay? I bought my Wii U pretty much specifically because of Mario Kart and Smash. Like, I love those games. And some would even tell you I had an unhealthy addiction to Mario Kart.
We all got addicted at one point to that game.
Yeah, that game is amazing. I love it. But my thing is I was hoping for more games to be released after all that. Star Fox came out. It was abysmal. I think
abysmal in
Yoshi's
sales.
Yarn came out and like no one talked about it, even though it was a great game. Xenoblade Chronicles X or whatever the hell it's called. I have it.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful ass fucking game, but no one talked about it. Like, they have a lot of good games and no one really talks about it. But the thing is, they're only releasing like they were at the time they only released like what, one game a fucking year? Like Jesus Christ, what am I, fucking anorexic? Jesus, give me some more Nintendo, you fucking pricks.
Yeah, it's all about.
Well,
that
at least
solid
you get
marketing
a
to-
game a year, unlike us Metroid fans.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. But you know what I really wanted to. I think what would have really pushed, and me and Metrox were talking about this last night because he's like the group Nintendo fanboy, okay? But I agree with him on this. If they would have announced a brand new F-Zero, that shit would have sold fucking Wii U's like Zelda did. I mean, not Wii U's, but fucking Switches like Zelda did.
They would have had to get Sega on it because Sega made what most people consider to be the best F-Zero game, F-Zero GX. Yeah, that's pretty ironic.
Really?
Sega ended up making what most people consider the best F-Zero game, and it was F-Zero GX on the GameCube.
Yeah.
So, it's
I
pretty
think
funny.
The fact the very nature of having a new F-Zero would be enough to push some sales.
I think it would.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
I think it would, especially if they applied the same logic behind their developing like they did Mario Kart, because Mario Kart is still a beautiful game even for the Wii U standards. It's
Absolutely.
a gorgeous fucking game. So if they were to do that with fucking F-Zero, dude, oh fuck yeah, and it was like a Switch exclusive, oh god yes, I'd be like, okay, you know what, I could literally set aside my differences with my two main problems and my gripes as long as I get that game, because that's what I did with Mario Kart. I mean, that's what I really did with Mario Kart and Smash. As long as I got those games, I was happy. So there's that.
My only gripe with the Switch is I've been hearing a bunch of people say that the right analog stick it feels weird when you're holding the Switch in portable mode, and I can see why, because you're so used to having like the thumbstick conveniently where your thumbs are, but now you have to kind of reach down and it doesn't feel right.
Those are probably people coming from the Wii U specifically over to the Switch.
See, I don't think I would have too much problem because I have a PS4 and I've just been used to it. But
Granted, I've never used a Switch. I've never held a Switch in my hand, so I couldn't say. But
Yeah.
I would assume that if I'm used to the normal controller design, I could probably deal with the analog stick being below there.
See, Rambo says he's done with Nintendo, but you know he's down with those Joy-Cons, right, Rambo?
Do what?
Oh.
Sorry, y'all are talking Nintendo. I'm
Well, you haven't spoken
Looking
up on
through
anything else yet, so.
I'm looking through. Well, y'all are still talking Nintendo. I have nothing to add to Nintendo.
Okay, fair
My kids don't even like Nintendo. Like, my kids have outgrown Nintendo.
Here's my thing. This will probably be my last thing about Nintendo then. All right. So what I feel they should have done, and I know it would have cannibalized a little bit, but I don't think it would have cannibalized enough because there's a lot of collectors, and Nintendo should have put that into consideration. Is they should have put a 3DS cartridge on the fucking Switch. That thing,
A 3DS port on the Switch.
that shit would have sold like fucking hotcakes, because that was one of my requirements to owning a Switch, was if they put a cartridge slot for the 3DS games to work on this fucking Switch, I would have gone out and bought one day one. Straight up.
It would have to only work in portable mode. It would have to be, well, is it touchscreen? It is a touchscreen, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then it would have to only work in portable mode, because
And
there's
that's
quite
fine,
a lot
though.
of 3DS games that require the use of the bottom screen.
Right, and that's fine. But that's fine. Like if you know anything about like emulation, like the 3DS and stuff, like they have the two screens virtually up there, so you could make that work.
Yeah.
So
They wouldn't be able to, like, unless you held the thing vertically, it wouldn't you would call it fill most of the screen, so they'd have to like make the top screen like a little bit bigger on the side and the smaller screen like bottom right of the screen, something like that. They'd have to do some trickery to make it like feel better, I guess. But yeah,
you could probably offer different options, but that definitely would have been the ultimate backwards compatibility.
I'd like to mention one other thing about Nintendo before we switch topics.
okay.
One of the reasons that I'm a bit apprehensive about Metroid Prime 4 not being developed by Retro Studios is because the original Metroid Prime for a GameCube title looked freaking fantastic and ran at 60 FPS 100% of the time.
Oh,
It
really?
was one of the best. It was one of the best looking and best performing games of the 6th gen. So
Nice.
with that said, if it was Retro developing Metroid Prime for the Switch's hardware, they could really show off how freaking, great you can make a game look on that system. But since it's not being developed by Retro, I'm, conflicted. It's like you're missing a big opportunity here, Nintendo. Why are you why are you having Retro Studios make Donkey Kong games? They made Metroid first for you guys. Fuck's sake.
It's almost like Nintendo has lost all of its fucking logic behind the money they were making with the Wii. You know that? Like, that's what it feels like to me.
Let's not just sell the fan game as well. Let's make our own remake too. You could, and instead of just selling the fan game and making their own remake too. I mean, they're two different games. One's the 2D fan game, and one's a 3D 2.5D remake.
Bro,
with
but like
completely new level design, new mechanics,
didn't
stuff like
even
that.
that group was like saying they would have been okay if Nintendo wanted to pull it and make money off of it. Like, they said it was okay.
Probably.
No, they said it was like it was a huge like Twitter thing a while back about it. Like, they said like it would have been okay, but like they fucking refused. They straight up like said no, we're taking it down. Period. Like, what the fuck? Are you fucking stupid? Like,
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, you are. Never mind. Fuck
It's like,
Nintendo
yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. It's like, do you want money? No. Okay, that explains some things.
And you know what? When we talk about Nintendo, I would like to assume this isn't Nintendo as a whole, because I know Nintendo America lets a lot of things slide, and from what I understand, all the issues with Nintendo in general is from Japan. It's all Japan. Like, all the stupid executive decisions that they make, all the stupid shit they do, is based off that fucking Japanese pride bullshit, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that explains that. That's Metroid Other M for you right there, who tried to remove Metroid Prime from the canon because Japanese arrogance.
Fucking retarded.
And okay, wait a minute. I had a thought, and now I've forgotten it. Wait a minute. Continue to talk. I'm gonna try and remember.
Isn't Nintendo Japan the reason why a lot of videos on YouTube are taken down as well?
Yes, there was, I think that's why a lot of these bigger YouTubers that were like, oh yeah, we're gonna sue them. Well, it's not Nintendo America that's limiting anybody on YouTube. It's fucking Japan, because a lot of the guys here on YouTube have actually emailed Nintendo of America and they said it was okay. So when they were uploading their videos, Nintendo Japan said fuck off. I was like, fuck that.
Like, it's free advertising. How are you gonna turn that down?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, you want to know someone who turns down free advertising? Phil Fish. And remember that guy?
Oh god, is that guy even relevant anymore? Like, he's on the bottom of the barrel now,
guy who
right?
made Fez. What's funny is, like, okay, he made Fez. Fez is a good game, but he's an arrogant asshole.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I still got his game though, so.
Exactly. I bought it off G2A because
I got it free
I'm not
from a
gonna
humble
pay-
bundle.
I'm not gonna pay him.
I stole a copy from a Twitch chat. That's how I got mine. Yeah, free copy.
But nah, I just wanted to bring him up because he's an idiot. And I just remembered what it was I was thinking of. At one point, Retro Studios themselves, the developers of Metroid Prime, actually mentioned the Metroid 2 remake project like 6 or 7 years ago. But
what happened?
they just simply mentioned that the project was there and that they thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And they even said that they had thought about making their own remake at some point. And they were enjoying the project as it was at the time. And then it's like, look where we are now.
Yeah, flag.
How far we've come.
Man, I tell you, like, I swear, like, the U.S., I like, everybody asks me, like, why do I hate Nintendo? It's like, I don't really hate Nintendo. I just hate Nintendo Japan. There's a difference.
There is a big difference there, because here's the thing with Metroid Other M, and the reason why it was basically trying to remove Metroid Prime from the story and the canon, was because, okay, Metroid has never sold as good in Japan as it has in the US, and
True.
2D Metroid games sell better in Japan than they do in the US. So the fact that Metroid Prime, a US developed game, is the best-selling Metroid game. Metroid Prime 1 has sold over a million copies and is the best-selling of the entire series. Since we made what is effectively a better game than them, they got pissed off. And I can assume that Metroid 2 Remake, being a 2D game also made by a non-Japanese fan, would probably piss them off too, because they made a fucking amazing job at a 2D Metroid game.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that probably had, even if anything, I'm gonna call it now, that had more input on them taking it down than copyright or the fact that they were making their own remake. I wouldn't put it past them to be that petty.
All right. So I think we got our Nintendo hard-ons out of the way, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
it's like I would say semi-erect at this moment because of Japan, but whatever. That's
saltiness.
pretty much.
Japan.
Pretty much. Rambo, did you find anything you wanted to talk about yet?
I mean, we can talk. I know y'all did a video about E3 or whatever. We can talk
That's
about
fine.
E3.
We can talk about E3 if you want. I didn't get to finish your video today. I was at work trying to watch it, but I could never get through to it because of customers. So what all did you think? So did you like Bethesda's? I couldn't remember. I think you said you didn't like it, right?
And they could have just put the Evil Within 2 trailer and the Wolfenstein 2 trailer on YouTube and called it a day.
I think a lot of people were expecting an Elder Scrolls announcement this E3. That's why a lot of people they've been saying, "Oh, this is disappointing." But
Well, there was an
not
Elder Scrolls
really.
announcement this E3. It's Skyrim coming to the Switch. I'm kidding.
But if I remember correctly, Bethesda said that it was going to take a couple of years before they even think about making an Elder Scrolls 6. So I'm really hoping that maybe this one will be even better than Skyrim, and maybe better than Oblivion. But if they're gonna take a lot of time to really gather their bearings, I hope that it does come out really well. Otherwise, you're gonna hype up a lot of people and then disappoint.
Yeah. And you see, wait. So they're saying that it has potential of being better than Skyrim, huh?
Well, no. What they said was they wanted the next Elder Scrolls to have, I guess, a lot of heart put into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be released in a few years. So don't expect it anytime soon. My
Oh.
thought is that if it does come out, then maybe it'll be good because they're taking this time to really analyze what they have.
Here's what I have to say to that: Mass Effect Andromeda and the gap between the times that Metroid games were released.
Yeah, but to be fair, Andromeda was completely just some other team.
You want to know what it turned out? It turns out that they actually didn't work on the animations for a while until like 2 months before release, and that's why they fucked up so bad.
You know,
Oh, that's
Well,
just
it's
part of
also
it.
changed to another company.
That's just part of it. Anthem was
Yeah.
a part of Andromeda, right? Originally,
Anthem.
Anthem's the new game that's coming out that actually looks really good. I actually do think it could do well, but Anthem is actually one of the main reasons why Andromeda was slacked on so much.
You know, I saw Anthem. It feels really similar to Destiny, which is a good thing because I'm a huge
Same here.
Destiny guy.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see more of that game because if it is really good, then I'm buying it.
Destiny was definitely one of those games that I shit on at the beginning of its release because it had so many issues. Like it had the DLC lockdown for multiplayer content. Like it was weird. Like the way they did it made it to where you had to buy the expansion in order to play the game, period. And they were trying to say that World of Warcraft was like that, and I'm like, no, it's not. you could buy the base game of World of Warcraft right now without any of the shit, and you'll still get all the fucking hours upon hours of enjoyment out of it. So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't the base adventure like at least 100 hours long?
oh, it's way more than that if you do all the
Yeah,
professions. You do all the professions. You do.
Yeah, probably.
You do all the PvP stuff, all the quests for that, your dailies. I mean, it's huge, dude. And so, like, they got called out for that, and that's why they had to fix it. So, like, when they fixed it and it was on sale, that's when I went and bought it up. Because I bought it up with all the shit with it, all except the last DLC that just came out recently. I play it on Xbox, and it's actually a pretty good game. I like it. It's not too shabby. I was definitely harsh on it, though, when it first came out. I was shitting all over it, and Rambo was like, it's a great game. I'm like, yeah, it's shit. What are you talking about?
By the way, did any of you guys actually just watch through the Xbox D3?
Yeah, I did.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you catch the very small, very short glimpse of
The X-Bone?
Titanfall 2 map? No,
Oh.
Titanfall 2 map.
What?
There was a very
What?
short. There's a very short clip in there that shows that an old Titanfall 1 map called War Games is coming back. Is being confirmed for Titanfall 2. Like you
No,
can barely
I
see it in
didn't.
there. It's like a very small, very short clip in there, but it's in there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it would. I don't know why it would show up on.
I don't know. I think the reason is because they were originally exclusive to Xbox and PC, so that's why.
Yeah, but they
I don't
didn't
know.
even have a. The Microsoft or Sony had the
Sony has Call of Duty, not Titanfall.
You know what?
Titanfall 2 as well.
Well, yeah, they have it as well, but Titanfall was originally with Xbox. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know, but I mean, they wouldn't put a Titanfall 2 map, or
Yeah.
a map coming to Titanfall 2 and Xbox's thing.
No, they were. Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know what was funny though? And I thought you were gonna lead up to the EA CEO fucking up calling the Xbox One X the X-Bone. Did you hear that when he was talking? He's like, oh yeah, it'll be the first on Xbox. And he just keeps going. I was like, that's fucked up. It was funny though.
I'll never get over that name. honestly.
Here's what I'm calling it.
Xbox.
With the Xbox One X now, because there's 3 X's, I'm calling it the triple Xbox.
You know what, right? Like, you know what? I love my Xbox, but I think it's hilarious when people call it X-Bone because so many people get so bent out of shape over it. I'm like, oh my god, this is
Yes.
hilarious.
Yeah, you want to know something funny too? Like before this is like a long while back. When like it was speculated that the next Xbox would be called the Xbox 720.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember
I
that.
went to Microsoft's website and I see this Xbox One thing. I'm like, what's this VCR shit they're selling? Like legit, I thought it was an actual like some kind of VCR or some kind of cable box, and I found out, oh, that's a console. What?
Luke,
That is
on PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, the guy that was announcing it called it exclusive. But if you notice, like right before, like when they started showing it on the screen, it popped up and said console launch exclusive.
Yeah.
That's time shit.
I'm about to ask.
If you paid attention to
as I play it on my PC,
to,
like- it's a PC.
Microsoft's,
Let him talk.
Sorry.
if you paid attention to Microsoft's E3, Microsoft said we're coming with 42 games and 22 exclusives, and every time one of those announced, it said exclusive or whatever, but console launch exclusive. So we actually added it up, and there were 7 actual exclusives to Xbox. The rest that were shown were either multiplats or timed multiplats.
Right.
Kind of dodgy.
Well,
Yeah, that's
and
that's the reason. That's the reason why at the end of Sony's conference,
It's imperfect marketing. Well,
at
not
the-
not imperfect marketing, but rather like imperfect information sharing through marketing.
pretty
Like,
much.
it's there if you can go and look at the fine print, but you're not immediately gonna notice. Like, oh, we got 22 more exclusives on the way, guys. Totally.
I know.
that's the
I
reason
know.
why at the end of Sony's conference, he came out and said, "I'm going to leave you with a true exclusive,"
Yeah.
and it was Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
I'm still
Sony
kind of
said-
iffy on it.
All the time because Microsoft sets themselves up for. They're like, "Here, Sony, let's see what you can do with this one."
Microsoft has a knack for not wording things properly and beating around the bush.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
I'll
yeah.
never understand that.
Yeah. Well, see, like with me, like
They call it Rise of the Tomb Raider exclusive.
like with me, like between like with all these E3s, but even with like the big, I consider the big two, and I'm sure Rambo could say the big two as well. Xbox and Sony,
Yeah.
you have to read between the lines with both of them because Sony never used to do that. Sony actually at one point would only announce exclusive platforms as like, this is literally the only way you could get this game is if you had a PlayStation 3. Like that's how they used to be. And then Xbox 360 shit came out, and they're like, "Oh, this is console exclusive. This is console." We all knew Call of Duty was on a fucking console exclusive, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Well,
Microsoft is the one that came up with the console exclusive.
that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Yeah.
Not even just that.
Now they
seem to
coined the
have come up-
term console launch exclusive.
Here's another thing though, like if you actually went back and looked at like the release dates of games in the 360 and PS3 era, that era effectively had the most timed exclusives you could think of.
Yeah, yeah, like especially with the content, like DLC content, which I know that they're sort of slowing down with. But remember when you like if you got the game on PS3, there was only certain DLC you could get for that platform. Like Soul Calibur was like that. Remember that? Like you only got like a certain fighter if you got it on a PlayStation or you got a certain fighter on the Xbox.
But then there was also other things where like they got released like Oblivion later, but they got the Game of the Year edition, which give you all the DLC for
Yeah, for like half the price.
It's like, hey, they actually got a good deal there.
Yeah, it was. It was a good deal.
Same thing with the Rise of the Tomb Raider. Whenever it launched for $60. I think $49.99, or it might have been $60.
No, yeah, I think you're right. It was $49.99, wasn't it?
But it was the game and the season pass. It was the whole thing, and to buy the game and the season pass for that first year. And Sony, all you got to do is just wait, and then you got the Game of the Year edition.
Yep. And, or you had to, or like what I like though in this I remember this so well because I, of course, like Rambo, I buy like everything I like. So I remember back in the old E3s, if you guys remember this, like they would have like these awesome looking fucking titles up on their presentation, right? And they would wait until like the very end to say this game and this game and this game is now available, and they would unlock it for you like it was a fucking event, and you could go in there and purchase it at that moment for like half off. I miss that. They need to bring that shit back.
Oh man, I remember those days.
Yeah, that could, that'll drive sales.
It definitely made E3 worth going to as well.
Yeah.
The Minecraft crossplay with PC, I think
that's a good idea. I like that
really
idea.
Good idea.
Most everything that every time they talk about Minecraft on PC, they're referring to the Windows 10 edition.
Oh.
Version.
Yes, the mobile port.
Yeah,
Right.
so you don't get the people that are playing on the Mojang aren't going to get to play with.
No, they can.
Like that.
Yeah, you can.
If you bought the normal version of Minecraft, then
You got the Windows
key,
10.
The Windows 10
Yeah, you had to link your account. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still have to play the Windows 10 edition.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is the Mojang,
stuff.
because that's where all the free mods are and shit like that. So your Mojang version isn't the one compatible with.
But you know what's funny though, and then this is where I'll give like Microsoft a little credit, right? That version, believe it or not, runs better than the original Mojang version. Like when I first launched the fucking Windows 10 version, I was like, "Whoa, this is actually fucking smooth."
It's a mobile version. I mean, it better run smooth.
I have one word for you, Rem. Optifine.
Yeah, when it worked.
Well, I mean, Optifine nowadays actually just comes with the shader mod installed, so you can just get shader packs right then and there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shows you how
took
long
me a
it's
while to
been since I
realize
played
that.
my Mojang
Blaze
version.
8. Here's the deal with Sony. They tried, as you put it, and Microsoft shot them down. Whenever Microsoft was the market leader, they said, "Nope, we don't want to play with you."
Yeah.
Now that Sony's like kicking ass, now Xbox all of a sudden wants to play nice.
It's swapped essentially
And
with the PS1. Xbox
Sony
One
said no.
launch.
But the thing
When
is,
the
with
PS4 and Xbox One, they sort of swapped sides. But Sony became Microsoft, and Microsoft became Sony.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
the thing is though, is that with Sony, if it was okay, we're here. I get tired. I was trying to type this to people on Twitter, and I hate arguing on the side of or trying to explain why a company would do it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that I'm like all for the company, but I mean, in this instance, I actually understand why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
For the gamers, but let's be honest. The two games they're talking about is Minecraft and Rocket League. So if Sony said yes to those right now, then it wouldn't stop there. The next thing would be Destiny, and the next thing would be Call of Duty until almost every game was crossplay. And sure, that sounds great, and it sounds wonderful for the consumer. I get that. Sony's thing is that takes away their money.
I don't know how.
Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, if like right now, if you want to play Destiny 2 with me,
Yeah.
you got to buy it on PlayStation, right?
Or whatever platform that you have it on.
Well, I have it on PlayStation. So you have to play. You have to buy it on PlayStation, right?
Right.
Okay, so that gives them Sony money.
If it were cross-platform with Destiny 2, then
So wait a minute.
Okay.
From like you bought it on Xbox, Sony doesn't get any of that money. Xbox does.
And if it were cross-platform, then
And so, like if you say right now you want to play Destiny 2 with me, so you go out. Say you didn't have a PS4, you go out and you get a PS4, and you buy Destiny 2. Well, then the next game comes up and it's like Anthem. I'm starting to play Anthem and I'm like really getting into it. And you're like, well, shit, man, my fire, the fire team I play with on PS4, they're getting into Anthem, so I'm going to buy Anthem too. Well, there's more money for Sony.
So,
it's their bottom dollar. That's the reason why. I mean, it's just.
But Rambo, like, let's be honest though. Let's be honest, man. Like, you and I are pretty much like the same person when it comes to our platforms, right? Like, you're gonna be comfortable buying it on the PS4 because why the fuck not? Your entire library is tied up on your fucking PS4, right? So, and
right.
You already know PS4 is what the market leader for the console platforms, correct? So at this point. At this very point, I would say you're wrong. Now, I'll tell you why in a minute, of course. Now, if let's say like we're going to the PS4 through the launch stages of this, then I would say you were absolutely right because then people would have to choose or would want to choose the cheaper the prices amongst all of them, right? So then I would agree with you. I'd be like, yeah, you know what, you're right about that because people aren't going to want to fucking buy, the PS4 Pro for this if they can just go get it on another platform for cheaper. You know what I mean? So like I completely see where you're coming from. But a lot of people like us, Rambo, will want to just continue playing on the platform that they choose to play on because they're already comfortable there. They're already there. They're already established. And as you already know, the Destiny community has been vying for something like this because it would help them in the sense that, hey, you got your friends across the platform, right? I mean, let me put it this way. Why the fuck would I want to sit there and go and buy a PlayStation 4 Pro or a 4 period, even though I got one?
I was wondering, why do you keep bringing up the Pro? Like, you don't have to buy
the
Pro.
4, right. So why would I want to go out and buy a 4 just to play a game with you, right? I would just buy the 4 if that was my platform of choice. So in this late of the game, it would be more of a benefit than it would be a deterrent.
It wouldn't be a situation. Let's say I'm not
because he already owns both platforms.
That's what I was saying. If I had to choose,
so what I'm saying is right now. I mean, for the people out there that own both platforms, sure, Xbox is your primary, but if you want to, since you already own the PlayStation, if you want to play Destiny with me, or if you want to play any of these games with me,
right?
You probably
you'd buy it on you'd be forced to buy it on the PlayStation, whereas that makes PlayStation money. But if it was cross-play, anything was cross-play, you would buy it on your Xbox because that's where you're comfortable playing at, and Sony doesn't make any money off of that.
Are you understanding though? But are you understanding the base of the entire situation? Though, is what I was getting at though. Do you understand what I was trying to get at?
Well, yeah, I understand. Like most people aren't going to go out and buy the opposite platform now to buy to play one game with their friend or whatever.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
The thing is,
can I give a situation here for this? Let's say you don't particularly care for the exclusives on PlayStation, but Destiny 2 is what do you call it? Let's say that in this situation it's not cross-platform, and you want to play with your friends because they have PS4s. You're going to want to go buy a PS4 to play with them. But let's say that it is cross-play, and you personally find more interest in the Xbox exclusives over PlayStation. Why, in this case, would you go buy a PlayStation for Destiny 2 when, if it's cross-platform, you can just buy an Xbox One and Destiny 2 to play the games that you want to play on Xbox One, as well as be able to still play with Destiny 2 with your friends?
That's kind of like you just made my point.
Yeah, but that takes money out of Sony's pocket.
How? Here's the thing. No. Listen.
What do you mean? How?
Just hear me out. Jesus Christ.
Well, no. I mean, it's like clear as day, like how they lose money.
But what I'm saying is okay. So I don't think you understood what I was getting at. I said at the beginning of this generation, when these games were launched, you would be right, because at that point Sony would lose lots of money, right? What I'm saying is, with the current established community that's already have their feet in the ground with the platforms they want to be on, all right, I and millions of other people on all these platforms, including yourself, have already owned this fucking game. I don't feel.
We're talking about Destiny 2.
I know, but I'm saying Destiny right now as my base argument. Okay, so we've already got this platform. Everybody's made up their mind on what platform they're going to be on. Okay. Yes, it's going to take money out of their fucking pocket because they have to fucking make it to where I would have to play a fucking game with you on their platform. And if I don't buy that platform, then yes, you're right. They would lose money. But what I was saying was, on the already established numbers, on pre-orders and everything currently with Destiny 2, I don't believe they would already lose the money on an already established community, already hyped from the first game. So what I'm saying to you is, the reason why this would be a huge positive thing is because this would prolong the community's life, and this would also prolong the multiplayer experience. In other words, you won't be logging in at night wondering where the fuck your crew is when there's other crews on other platforms playing on the same server as you.
Okay,
To me, that is a great thing, because then you would also have the chance and the abilities, not saying this will be a definite, of course, more DLC come down the pipeline, more customizability options for the entire community. I
don't know how it would create any more DLC, considering the fact that the sales numbers would be the exact same.
Well, we can't really. I mean, okay, so right there, if the sales numbers are going to be the same exact thing, then
if we had crossplay, it would be the exact same as what it is now.
I think that by having crossplay, Microsoft and Sony have more motivation to work on their consoles and make those more appealing, so that if someone wants to buy a console,
I don't know how.
Buy it.
How are you going to? I just want to. How do you make a console any more appealing? This is the argument that that Rags used all the time. Is he was like, quit doing the exclusive games, crossplay, whatever. Everybody gets to play everything, whatever,
Yeah.
Well,
and that's great. That's all. I mean, that sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful for the gamer. I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. That sounds wonderful.
It's wonderful for the gamer, but it's not as good for these companies, and that's the problem here. Because
the thing is, though, is if it's not good for these companies, then it ultimately will end up not being good for the gamers. To keep us gamers going.
Well, here's the thing, though. Without exclusives, what exactly entices people to play on the consoles over the PC? Because if you don't have any exclusive games, then what are you left with? You're left with a platform that doesn't run games as good, and you have to pay to play online.
See, one thing I
prefer, honestly,
obviously there are people who prefer console, and I understand that, but I'm saying that if you're going to be looking at it from the standpoint of what value does a console offer me if every game is on every platform, why should I get a console over a PC exactly? What value does it offer me? Not as someone who just doesn't have a gaming platform at all. If I'm looking at this, why should I get a console?
Well, I mean, if you don't, honestly, for the most part, because you got to look at the majority of console gamers are casuals, what you would consider casuals, and they're most of those casuals aren't really thinking about PC gaming, and better as far as crashes go and stuff like that.
Okay.
Where it's to the point of where people I guess would feel 100% comfortable, as comfortable, because it say for instance if Horizon Zero Dawn, if it crashes, and has a problem, well, you enough people report it, whatever, and then you'll get it's almost like an immediate thing. Whenever if there's a problem, you'll get a tweet from the Guerrilla game saying, we're working on the issue, whatever. We'll have it up by this time.
Yeah, but that
on
also
PC when
works
you're
for some
when
PC games too.
I'm not, but I mean, a lot of times if you're playing like a game like say Dark Souls 3, and you know it's a single player game, and it had or even and it crashes. Well, you've got to, you know, if it continues like you load it up, it crashes. You load it up, it crashes. You load it up, it crashes. You've got to go search for all these different answers as to possibly what can be done, what can, you know, what you can do. On console, it's basically the developer. It's something with either Sony or with the developer, and they pretty much fix it like pretty quickly. I mean, I've had games crash, but I've yet to have one continue crashing over and over again. I have had that on the PC whenever I was on PC.
I would
So where
say
it
that
just
I get what you're saying, but I'd also argue that that's also on a developer by developer basis.
but I'm saying that would be the reason why that you asked why people people would choose the consoles because that happening gets advertised more on PC than it does on console because of the fact that most PC people and most humans don't talk about anything unless it's negative.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand what's going on.
So what happens is that the PC gamers, they're quiet, they're having their good time. When shit goes wrong, it's all over Twitter, it's all over, you know, everywhere else, all these social media sites, and that's all these gamers see.
Yeah.
Even though it's sporadic, like here and there, but look how many PC gamers there are. So if you're having an issue, Rags is having an issue, Brim's having an issue, Shane's having an issue, even though it's different issues with different games, and all of a sudden I happen to be in the same group as all of y'all are, and all of y'all are posting y'all's issues at the same day or back to back days or whatever. As a console gamer that's clueless about PC, I'm like, or even a person clueless about console or PC, I'm like, well, shit, that's definitely not the platform for me. I don't want to mess with all that headache, because not only do you have to either buy it pre-built for a high price, or you have to know how to build it yourself, which isn't hard, obviously, but a lot of people are scared of it, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people are scared of it, and I wish that it was more popularized about how actually easy it is to build a computer or find the components for it. Because, like, here's a simple thing you could do is just look up some decently powerful budget PC builds, and you can find some pretty cheap stuff that gives you pretty decent performance.
I'm honestly hoping, like Rags has developed a sort of following. Even console gamers follow him to see what he's going to say next. He's got some hate subscribers.
Well, of course, everyone's got hate subscribers.
Yeah, everybody gets those. Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's a lot of people that
I know what you mean.
I talk to on a daily basis that hate Rags, but they're all subscribed to him and they're all following him.
Is one of them Sony only?
Yeah, well, I don't even know. I don't talk to him. I'm muted him. I can't stand him.
He doesn't talk to anyone.
But more than likely that is one of them. But yeah. I'm hoping that, like, with Rags' type of content, because he has drawn in a lot of console people, console community, that maybe one day he actually, instead of
hopefully he'll end up being like the gateway to explaining, this stuff isn't actually as hard as you think it is.
Right. Maybe he does a tutorial on how to build a PC or or something like that, like to where it might. I know it's a step off of his content.
Yeah.
That is
nice to see.
He's got the audience of because let's put it this way, the console guys aren't going to Jay's 2 cents.
Okay.
I mean, they're just not. You know what I mean? Because all he's doing is talking PC. He's not talking gaming. I mean, he talks some games, but not really.
Yeah, he's a tech channel. Yeah,
he's a tech guy. So I mean, they're not going there.
Well,
they go to Rags' channel. So, and I'm hoping like channels like Rags, not just Rags himself, because there's others out there like him. But they use that platform eventually, maybe to do every once in a while some sort of way to show people that building a PC isn't all that hard, and maybe then stuff like that can actually get out into the regular gamer community that PC gaming really isn't as scary as it seems.
Or it's difficult.
It can be. Well, it can be overwhelming to some people. I mean, there's
some people that can't even fucking fathom tying their shoelaces.
Yeah,
they couldn't even swap out a hard drive on the PS4. So I mean, that person will never build a PC.
I've been slowly working on a series of videos doing just that because I hear a lot of people saying that I hear the same argument of people don't want to build a PC because it's too hard or they're afraid, and that's not true. And I wanted to make these videos as simple as they come, so that if people wanted to see how to build it, they can have like this really, really extremely watered down, basic sort of manual.
And before it's just one video saying, "Hey, go to PC Part Picker and then just put your parts in and boom."
Yeah, but for
I know.
those who just want to know how it works,
Yeah,
it'll
Yeah.
attract those sort of
it'll
audience.
attract
I
it'll
think-
attract the curious because they'll be wondering, like, you know what? Is it really that? Like, it does look interesting and looks like the first time I looked at the inside of a computer, I was like, okay, that looks super complicated.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I
That's
had
not
to
a build
use.
guide.
I actually had to. Whenever I never had built one before. I mean, I've been around computers all my life, but I just never had built one. And so whenever I built mine, I ordered all the parts, and then once they all got here, I got a YouTube video on, and I just picked some. I mean, it wasn't any specific parts, but I just picked a how-to video on YouTube, and
Tech tips.
just tech tips.
yeah, it got me through building it. I was actually up and running in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always tell everyone it's the building of the computer. It's basically just adult Legos.
Yeah,
It's
I've
even-
been
it's
telling
even
people that for
easier than
years. Yeah.
It's even easier than Legos in some cases because there are certain
is.
parts that you can't even stick in the wrong
It only
places.
goes one way.
Yeah,
The only thing that gets confusing is towards the end whenever you have all these little
the
little
hardest
tiny
part.
the little bit tiny connectors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
can
those
be
ones, like
jarring sometimes.
the tiny
yeah.
connectors and specifically the ones that connect to like the power and the
Oh, the
LED.
jacks, the jumpers. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing the jumpers is kind of
All those are the ones that are like, because they don't even the instructional video. It's all because that all is like kind of specific to your case
Yeah. So
But
in
even-
that case,
or whatever. So or whatever you're using. So therefore, whenever you're watching an instructional video, yeah, he might not go through hooking this one thing up because he doesn't have it, and so you got to kind of try to figure out, okay, where does this go?
Yeah.
But even then,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff is labeled in some way.
and not to mention if you mess up with like putting like the power cables at the bottom, like the little things to turn it on down there, then you can just keep swapping it around until it works because it's not actually gonna fuck anything up if you if it doesn't turn on because you plugged it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
So it's almost baby proofed in a way when you think about it. Because you can't
Yeah, I
fuck up
mean-
certain things at all with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So Rambo, I'm sorry to interrupt this real quick, you
No, go
guys. Dark Jazz 10 says, Rambo's Corner. I took your advice on the 2 terabyte hard drive and upgraded my PS4. Thank you. That's
Oh,
nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, man.
That's smart.
Yeah, I need to upgrade my PS4 hard drive soon. I have the OG PS4.
Yeah, I got a 2 terabyte internal and then a
It's like a 6 terabyte or some shit, right? External or some shit. Like it was. I know it was pretty big. Didn't you get a big one?
8
Oh, 8. Yeah.
8 terabyte.
Okay,
Yeah,
8 terabyte.
I have 10 terabytes total.
Does the PS4 take SSDs or no?
Yeah, it
yeah.
probably does.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes SSD. Yeah,
And from
it doesn't do any good. I mean, like they
it's
that's
lossless.
right.
It's just lossless. Yeah, it's stupid. It doesn't even do anything.
Does it like speed up load
one,
times?
like,
No.
1 to 2.
Oh, really?
Well, it's like 1 to 2. It's like 1 to 2 seconds. It's
Oh,
not
it is
even
sped
worth,
up. Oh, it is sped up. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, just a small. Not. I mean, now you'll notice like a huge difference, like but more than 1 or 2 seconds if you use SSDs on your PC.
Mhm.
But if you
not
go
enough
onto
to
the
invest in
console-
one then, right?
It's not worth. It's just better to get the regular HDD, because it's. I mean, it's not worth the cost.
It's not worth the cost. And the last time I heard anything about that, that was like a few years back when these consoles first launched. I remember people trying to put the SDs in that Sony, man, and they were having more issues with the SSD than they had the regular. It was a fucking nightmare. So I almost jumped and said, "Don't do it, man. Just don't do it. It's not worth it."
It's not worth the money that it
Now,
costs to do an SSHD or even an SSD.
They're still pretty pricey, aren't they? I mean, they're only
Yeah.
offering like what I think it's like a terabyte, and it's like $400.
Yep.
I think I have a 3 terabyte just lying around. I'll give that a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to do like a 3 terabyte internal.
But you can.
The
but
internal is a laptop drive.
yeah. I was gonna say though, but however, there is a way. Go and is it a regular hard drive size, Rokon?
Yeah, it's a regular hard drive. Size.
Oh, okay. If you can just go to Amazon and look for the external adapters for them. They have them. You can just pop that thing into an external with a USB 3.0 or 2.0 and just plug it in. Like they do that now. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right.
Wait.
External hard drive, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take a regular hard drive, put it into a little cradle thing, and then plug it into your PlayStation,
Oh.
and it works as a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it works. It works.
USB 3.0, yeah.
Yeah, and it works just like an external. It's pretty. You just converted a regular standard, drive into an external. So that's pretty much what you do.
Okay, I thought you were going to say like there's a way to like get a certain cord that does that, and from my experience, that's not the case.
Oh
You
yeah.
can get these little boxes. Like you can get a box, that's a
Right.
special box that you can plug it into, and it works.
No, there is actually if you can actually also put it in a external the external case,
Oh yeah, of course.
and then run a
USB
what are
3.0.
those cables called?
USB 3.0.
No. The cables, the SATA cables.
Oh, SATA cables for the hard drive and stuff. Yeah.
Run the SATA cables from the hard drive from your case
Directly into the PS4.
directly into the side of the PS4 where the hard drive is.
Oh, good.
That is your internal.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
Yeah, that's
Probably
pretty
should,
cool.
Yeah.
I see. That's a hell of a workaround.
Now,
but
you know what I was
I
hoping.
mean,
It is, but I mean the
time.
reason why I say that is because then you can actually use up to an 8 terabyte internal and an 8 terabyte external.
It's better than what Xbox has, i.e., having to literally take the console apart if you want to edit the internal hard drive, and that voids the warranty. So
I'm not
Hey.
willing to do all that. Yeah, I just went out and got a 4 terabyte external
least-
and I called it a day.
at least with the Xbox 360, even though they have that stupid thing with their own proprietary hard drives, turns out they're not actually proprietary. If you actually just pull out the hard drives on like the Xbox the Xbox 360 Slim, and open up the thing in there, it's just a regular laptop drive. So if you
Yeah.
just replace the laptop drive with something else, then you can just plug it in that way and it works.
Yep. And it works pretty good.
And
I was maybe thinking.
it didn't let. One thing I found stupid about the 360 is that it didn't let you have external drives more than 64 gigs.
I got something even dumber to bring up. Remember when they didn't even have a fucking HDI port to it at launch?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that.
That was fucking cancer, wasn't it, boys? Fucking $300 console. Guess what, bitches? You still don't get HD. Fuck off.
Yeah, the original PS3 was not. The PS3 originally wasn't supposed to have a GPU.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that stupid shit.
It
Jesus
was
Christ.
supposed to be just a cell CPU.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious if it actually came out.
Hey guys, it's Intel Integrated Graphics partnering with IBM. Special design.
And there was some guy today trying to tell me that Sony admitted that they are paying for parity, and I'm like, can you please link me to this this article, because
It's about Destiny.
I have. But they were talking about basically any game that Sony has marketing rights to, they kind of use this article basically saying that every game that Sony has marketing rights to is going to be parity because Sony's paying for it. So I read this article.
Yeah.
Specifically, do y'all have some sort of marketing deal? He's like, well, I'm not going to go into like what our contracts say and what our contracts don't say. He said, if you're asking me if we're paying for, them to shortchange the other people, no.
But Rambo,
So-
but we could also bring up, and this is going to support you even more as far as this goes. Ask this guy that you were talking to, like that, the one that said that, putting Sony on blast like that. Ask him what it means when Microsoft back in the early 2000s with the 360, when Microsoft was approaching devs, and this was when the PS3 was out, of course, and PC was starting to boom. Ask him if that's what he means by this, is if Microsoft approaches a developer and asks for a game to be put on their platform, and they tell them no, and they insist on paying the developer millions of dollars to make sure that game is put on that console. And it was so much money that Square even modified that game for the Xbox and the
Talking about Final
Xbox
Fantasy 13, aren't you?
and the Xbox actually had the standard fucking edition because they threw enough money at it, and that shortchanged Sony and fucking PC community. I mean, Final Fantasy. Anybody remember that?
Final Fantasy 13.
There you go.
That game.
That was
game
supposed 13 and 13-2 was supposed to be all one fucking game. And because Microsoft saw fit to throw billions of dollars at developers, they convinced them to make it and break it down so that way it could run on the 360, and they made that the standard version of the game to run on everybody else's platform.
Actually, no. Here's the thing. It ran on one disc for PS3 because they just split up the original version of 13 into 3 discs.
There was a Game Informer that actually explained this, right? Like that's exactly what happened.
Oh.
The thing that I talked about just now. Yeah, that was
Okay.
that was in a Game Informer. Yeah.
The reason why like 360 had so many disc on games weren't because people were just doing it. It was because they were using DVDs.
Yeah.
Instead of Blu-rays, yeah.
Yeah.
Which led to a few things.
But
it led to the game looking. I'm not sure. It led to the cutscenes, the FMV, not FMV when I talk about the CG cutscenes, which look amazing, leading to them to being half the resolution. And I swear to God, they had to have lowered like model quality and texture quality too, because the game looks worse on 360, as well as resolution just being lower.
In this article, he even went on to say that it was Jim Ryan actually, which I'm surprised because Jim Ryan's been saying some stupid shit lately. But he actually said that it was just he goes go back to he said devs usually do that anyway. Devs and publishers usually choose to do that because if you have like a marketing deal, they're working on one platform, like primarily working on the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that what they'll do is instead of building 2 different versions, they'll build one version and port it over. He said go back to all the last generation games. He said the PlayStation 3 was more powerful than the 360, but yet the PlayStation 3 got the shittier versions of the game because of all the marketing deals Microsoft had. They built one version of the game and then ported it over to PlayStation 3, even though PlayStation 3 could handle more.
And that was because Xbox, like Microsoft at the time, had a lot more money, and they were throwing it at these guys. So wouldn't you say, Rambo, in that sense, that was shortchanging everybody else, right?
I mean, it was, but I mean, at the same time as those these devs, it's just devs being lazy.
To be fair, yeah, it's more a case of either devs being lazy or devs just not having the time to properly do it. Because here's the thing, sure, the PS3 was more powerful if you knew how to properly code for the cell processor. Because sure, the cell processor was powerful as shit, and it would have been able to handle more than the 360 did. And in the case of Final Fantasy 13, you can see it clearly runs better on the PS3, but at the same time, it was harder to develop for, and because these publishers are looking for money quickly, they're not going to spend the time to make a proper port for the.
That's also the reason. Well, that's also the reason why Microsoft was able to get a lot of the marketing deals too, because it definitely all the different things factored into like Xbox being the market leader at that time.
And the 360 was also easier to develop for because they used a more traditional setup.
Well, yeah, I mean they used more of a PC, like a basic PC setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you still custom to a certain extent, but it was nowhere near as outlandish as a cell processor was.
Right.
If you look at Uncharted 1 and then Uncharted 3, you could tell that they figured out how to work around the cell processor like really late in the cycle, though, which is kind of a shame.
Did. But although, as you could probably notice, like at the end of the lifespan of the PS3 and 360, you could probably notice that games started to look and basically run identical on both systems.
Yeah.
Because by that point, the developers finally had enough experience with the PS3's processor that games looked, for the most part, the same.
Yeah.
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 And people are like, I guess they're trying to damage control the fact that
Microsoft also did this.
Games that that Microsoft lied that the games are going to be running the best versions of the game, 4K this, native 4K this, true 4K, and Assassin's Creed Origins comes out and it's dynamic 4K, which is checkerboard rendering.
And what the hell dynamic 4K is? Is it
checkerboard?
Always moving?
Okay. Well, it's not even It's not even checkerboard. The dynamic is basically.
I thought it was when
the resolution based on load.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dynamic is where so your load up screen might be full true 4K, But whenever you go into like a densely populated part of the world in Assassin's Creed,
It'll throttle down.
It'll throttle down to maybe even 1080p or 900p.
Yep.
And go back up to 4K and go fluctuate back and forth, kind of like basically how frame rate does.
There are two different kinds of dynamic resolution tricks. You can say dynamic resolution as in like menus are rendered at 4K, but in-game is rendered at 1080p or something. Or you could say resolution that changes depending on how intensive the scene is, like Titanfall 2 does. Or like as soon as shit gets really hard on the system, the resolution changes, but the game sticks to 60 FPS almost 100% of the time.
Yeah, but the only problem is that Assassin's Creed Origins run dynamic 4K 30 frames per second on the Xbox One X. And wait a minute. And that's what I was trying to get at with this guy. I was like, you're sitting there talking shit about Sony with this, Destiny deal. I was like, but Microsoft has the marketing deal for fucking Assassin's Creed Origins, so wouldn't that make them actually have the best possible version? Well, it's up to the devs. It's up to the devs. I'm like, well, then why isn't it up to the devs on Sony's side? Like, that doesn't make no fucking sense. Like, you're stupid. Like, these people are fucking idiots. Like,
that's fanboys for you.
What? Yeah, you got fucking took is what you did. You believed all the fucking true 4K 60 frames, no compromise hype.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to figure out a way out of it. And today they were like, Sony's got no games coming the rest of the year. Sony's got no games. And I'm like, you do realize they got like 7 or 8 more games coming out this year.
Sony?
Oh, yeah.
Or AAA. And I'm like, well, I mean, it depends on like what you are considering AAA. I was like, why? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you determine like what a AAA budget is?
Well, that is
well, once it hits 2 million, then it becomes AAA. If it's 1,999,000, whatever, then it's AA. No, there's no number.
Well,
yeah, I don't think there's a number. I don't think there's a number either, because we talked about this, and because we remember
Witcher 3, anybody?
Yeah, right. And like,
Witcher
remember
3.
like when we were talking about Kickstarters for the Greenlight Rambo a while back. It was like the first couple of episodes we were talking about this. A lot of these fanboys do that. They like to throw AAA, AA out there like it actually means something. And we were talking about this in the sense, well, if that's really the case, then how come this indie game had a budget of maybe a few $100,000 and it looks better than a multi-million-dollar title?
Looks better, plays better, is probably better.
Yeah.
Let me quote Bullet Barry here. Sorry, Barry. So good, it looks like you think it's an indie.
Right?
Well, I go back to like, well, okay, Uncharted Lost Legacy. Sure, they're like, oh, that's DLC, but it's 20 plus hours long standalone by itself. That's a new fucking game.
That's an expansion pack, is what it is.
Well, if it's getting a standalone DLC, like its actual own box art, retail release, everything else, it's a new game. You can consider that a new AAA game coming out.
So it's sort of like if you know about this, the whole thing with Super Mario Galaxy 2, essentially. It was originally it was supposed to be an expansion. It was supposed to be an expansion of Super Mario Galaxy 1, but because they couldn't really download DLC that big onto the Wii, they decided that they would just make the second game and just add in a bunch of new things as well.
Yeah,
so
basically, technically it's an expansion, but the other technical thing is that it's actually getting its own retail release. So, to me, that would be another game. But then you have Gran Turismo Sport. I would argue that NAC 2 is. Sure, I mean it's not.
Wait a minute.
Uncharted level is NAC 2.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I already pre-ordered that shit out of that. That fucking game is awesome.
You know
man.
what? Aside from what everybody thought about the first one, it looked a lot of fun, and it seems like
it is a lot of fun, and it's fucking hard.
I played a bit of a demo somewhere. I thought it was kind of boring, but maybe that was just a demo.
It could be.
It would be nice for y'all to actually get to play it on hard, on hard, and then tell me if it's a kid game, because I can tell you that any kid that I know would have had a broken controller, because I've almost broke my fucking controller trying to beat this fucking on hard.
Nintendo makes only kiddie games. Hey, Call of Duty player, come play Mario 3 over here.
I know, right? Pretty much.
You will be crying in a few levels.
1v1 me Splatoon, boy.
Yeah, well, yeah. So like their narrative, like now that Microsoft finally actually has an exclusive coming out called Crackdown 3. After 9 months of only having Halo Wars 2, now they're like all of a sudden, well, Sony has nothing coming out of the holiday. Well, we've already had like 17 fucking exclusives this year. Like, what more do you want from Sony? Like, do you think Sony's stupid and like gonna release whenever all their third party deals are releasing in the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to have another Titanfall 2 situation.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. Like, why would you release God of War right next to Call of Duty? It would like that would be stupid. Sure, God of War would sell, but it would never sell near as what it would by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like waiting until 2018, Microsoft back under the gun as well.
To be fair about the whole Titanfall 2 situation, sure, that was annoying that at the beginning it lost a bunch of sales that it could have gotten, but at this point, more than half a year later, you can't really blame the release date on the game not having as many sales as it could have.
Well, you can't. I can for the fact that you can actually because of the fact that first-person shooters, Titanfall, you release it mixed in with Battlefield and Call of Duty. What I'm saying is though you'll have people pick Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Titanfall. 6 months later, aren't going to all of a sudden quit playing Battlefield, Call of Duty to buy Titanfall and start playing that all of a sudden. They're still playing their actual season pass that they bought and everything else because they chose their first person shooter. That's the reason why with shooters, like they don't. I'm sure like Call of Duty's the freak of the bunch. That's the one that sells like no matter fucking what. Yeah. Like all year long. But like you don't see Battlefield in the top 10 NPDs every other than the fact maybe in the month or 2 months after release. After that, you don't see Battlefield anymore. And that's because the people that chose Battlefield. And the only ones that really actually hit the top 10 and after a month or two after release is Call of Duty, and that's just by the sheer like cult following that it has.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I get what you mean, but realistically, at the same time, there's nothing stopping players from just coming over. And even though there's like people on YouTube getting millions and millions of views, they're making Titanfall 2 videos. They're still the players aren't necessarily the player count isn't necessarily rising at the same pace that these videos are getting views. So, at the same time, while it's true they fuck their sales up at the beginning, at this point, they can, if they were actually interested. It's do I get Titanfall 2 or do I get Call of Duty or Battlefield? Well, like 6 months down the line, okay, I've played a good deal of Call of Duty or Battlefield, whichever one I picked, and now Titanfall 2 is still out there. Maybe I might get it now. Like anyone could just go ahead and say that. Like if they were even having the dilemma.
Well, yeah, place. Obviously people can pick it up, but I just think that usually with the first-person shooter community, they kind of just pick it and they stick it because of the fact that they spend so much time and effort like getting good at one shooter that they don't really want to invest in a whole nother shooter with a whole different type of mechanic.
Pick a game and stick with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
they can bounce back and forth pretty easy between Battlefield and Call of Duty because it's the same kind of mechanic, shooting, running. Just obviously different as far as map sizes, but with Titanfall, like it's a whole different type of thing. Yeah. So I mean, most of them just leave that alone because of the fact they chose
because it is so different, and like it's not even just that like the maps aren't as big as Battlefield, but like the map size is like in between Call of Duty and Battlefield, but at the same time, it's also incredibly vertical, along with just not just horizontal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, guys. So we're coming up on the hour and a half, and I'm going to do something that we haven't done in a while. I already know Rambo has picked up some things. So let's start off with Ziad, go Rokon, and then Rambo. You'll be next. What have you guys as far as because we're coming towards the end, we're about an hour and a half. So for pickups and what you've played, Zayad, what's it been for you lately?
Recently?
Yeah, your most recent pickup and what you've been playing.
I got this one game called Pulsar: The Lost Colony. It's actually it's on Steam. It's actually pretty fun. It's a good like if you're into role play and stuff like that. I'm not even sure it's a new game, but like if you want to do like it's the perfect game for doing like a Star Trek role play in game with friends. It's like
okay.
It's like let me give you an example. You're a crew of 5 players or like any number of players and like some bots to take care of the other roles. But like there's a role for the captain, a role for the pilot, a role for like the weapon specialist, the scientist, or the engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So you pick like each player just picks a role and then they stick with it. The pilot, like anyone can pilot the ship technically, but the pilot has like a XP progression system that allows them to control the ship even better, like as they level up essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So like and in their each respective fields they have their own XP and progression systems to get them better at those things. So if you want to do it, you could you get like a bunch of different ships. It's space exploration. You get missions. You sometimes go into combat and have to fight other ships. Like it's not like it unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's multiplayer like between different like players outside of your ship, but it's just all against AI. But with that said, again, like I said, it seems like a really good like Star Trek roleplay game if you wanted to do that.
Okay.
I also picked up what's that game? The Escapists, along with the Walking Dead DLC with it. I played a little bit of The Escapists. I thought it was fun.
The Escapist is pretty good. Yeah, I remember purchasing that way back when it first came out. It's not a bad little game. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, pretty fun, pretty hard too.
Yeah.
That's one game I've been trying to get for the longest while.
Dude, Kingwin always has it on sale for like $10, if that sometimes. So you should check it out. It's really good.
Okay. I usually check D2A, but yeah.
So is that all for you, Ziad, or is there any more, or no?
Well, aside from the fact that I've just been grinding Titanfall 2 for a while, well.
All right, fair enough. Rokon, what about you? What about your pickups and what you've been playing the most?
Well, I have been playing a bunch of Overwatch because of the event that just passed by. And
The anniversary, baby. I've been playing it on both fucking platforms, both Xbox and PC.
It's funny because the very last loot box that I opened gave me the Lucio skin that I wanted, man.
Yeah.
I was super stoked. I didn't get the dances or anything because, goddamn, my RNG sucks.
I know, same.
But one game I did pick up for the PS4, Dragon Quest Builders. It is surprisingly really good.
It looks like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, it feels like Minecraft, but it focuses heavily on the standard RPG aspects where like you have to go and kill enemies, get their loot, and use that loot to build supplies or build houses for people who want to come in. It's really cool because the game it strictly tells you that you're not a hero. You're not here to level up. You're here to build for everyone. You need to rebuild this world that you've just been kind of tossed into fray, and you need to kind of gather your bearings. And
so it's a builder with a purpose, in other words.
Yeah, it's really good. Like if you have if anybody has a PS4, I recommend that game. It's so much fun.
Oh, it might actually make me blow all the dirt off of my PS4.
Maybe.
And that's your recent pickup, right?
Yeah. I think I also picked up Zelda Breath of the Wild recently for the Wii U because I didn't want to get the Switch yet. And
is it actually good?
It is. There's so much attention to detail. It's mind-boggling. Like, if you wanted to set the grass on fire, you can do that, and the updraft will lift you up if you have a paraglider and just send you away.
Oh,
okay.
Little
things like that really just boggle my mind.
See, I too thought about just getting it on the Wii U because like I saw the video comparisons and it really isn't that much of a difference besides some color gradient looks a little different, but that's about it though.
Here's the only difference is that the game drops frames in different areas than the Switch does, but both games drop frames in they drop frames in general, but they drop in different areas for depending on which version you have. That's essentially the only real visual difference aside from maybe a color change here or there. but like from what I've seen of comparison images, they look identical.
Wow.
Aside
It
from
feels-
resolution.
It kind of feels less vibrant on a gamepad, which isn't really too much of an issue. But I think there's an option on like the Wii U settings that'll
Yeah, you
bring
could
out
you
the
could
colors
actually
more.
you could make it more vivid. There's an actual
Yeah.
option on your on your controller settings. Yeah, that's there.
I haven't tried it out, but that's something I need to check out soon.
It was
What's
good.
this? The make vivid button?
The Mick. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What about you, Rambo? What's your most recent pickup, and what the hell have you been playing?
You really want to know my most recent pickups?
Yeah, why not?
This is kind of now that I'm looking back. I mean, shit. I even got more. I even got more in my car right now. Now, mind you, this was yes, the 10th when I bought these. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Watch Dogs 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. I already played Horizon Zero Dawn, but I needed the DLC was coming. I knew, so I needed to go ahead and pick it up while that was on sale. Tekken 7, MLB The Show 17. What else did I get? Killing Floor 2.
Great
Killing
game.
Floor 2.
Yeah, great game.
I'm one trophy away from getting the platinum on Killing Floor 2.
God damn.
Tekken 7, I've been playing a lot of that. I just finished the story mode too.
Yeah, how is it? Is it a good game?
Story mode is actually really good. I have no interest at all in going online because
It's
like,
cancer. I'm letting you know, it's cancer.
I mean, it's cancer for me because, like, the effect of me going online would be like the effect of me getting cancer. Like, I'm definitely going to die every single time. So I just don't. I mean, I'll play with people that I know maybe, but other than that, I have no interest going back into Tekken.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I think the reason the online's what you would call cancer is probably because it's probably dominated with lots of Tekken veterans who have been playing.
Just no lifers, yeah, just no lifers.
yeah.
People that Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. It's $29.99. I've never. I mean, because I've seen my son play it on PS3.
Yeah.
But I've never actually played Skyrim.
Such a good game.
You'll lose.
Good game, but it's the only problem is I hope. I mean, with anything Bethesda makes themselves,
Yeah.
it's fucking full of bugs and glitches and shit. And I don't know how. I don't even know how the hell Bethesda's ever on anybody's top anything list. But
You're not wrong.
Bethesda is actually like the worst developer out there.
What about New Vegas though? But that's not actually
New Vegas?
Yeah, New Vegas isn't actually developed by Bethesda though.
Yeah, that wasn't developed by Bethesda.
That was developed by
that
the
was
original
Obsidian.
studio. Yeah.
Exceptional story.
That would be the exception to the rule. Like same thing with Wolfenstein. I love Wolfenstein, and those things actually run great, but Bethesda didn't have their hands in it.
Bethesda also technically, it is Bethesda that technically owns Doom, correct?
Doom, yeah, but they didn't make it.
But yeah,
It made
it
it.
made it.
Uh,
And, like
There
seriously,
you go. So
they should just have id be the optimizers and game coders for all of their
Absolutely.
games.
Oh my god, that would be a dream.
they should just get that Tom Howard or whatever his name is.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to think here. John Carmack.
The guy that everybody Todd Howard or whatever.
I don't know.
The guy that's on the face of like on the at the Bethesda place all the time at during every time Fallout
I
is.
believe it is
announced.
Todd Howard.
It's Todd Howard, yes.
Yeah.
They need to get they've got to get him, like him and his studios, like with Bethesda, like the fuck out of here. Just like let them be publishers. That's all that Bethesda needs to be as a publisher.
Id can like
And
seriously, if you see like a new Fallout game made in the id Tech 6 engine, like it would look and run like it would be the best looking and running Fallout game.
whoever's
ever.
making, I think Id's making. Id is the one I think that makes Wolfenstein as well.
No,
Oh my. They don't
not actually.
really.
They're
Is that it?
part of
They
it.
made the original Wolfenstein, the original Wolfenstein.
No, they
actually
were
have
part
it.
of.
They made
Wolfenstein New Order and the Wolfenstein The Old Blood.
Maybe they were a part of it, but the main what do you call it? The main developer was not id.
Who
Let me
did
look
it?
real quick. I need to look it up. Wolfenstein.
The engine was the id Tech 5.
Okay. But
Developer was Machine Games, and
yeah, it was Machine Games. It wasn't id.
All right, so Machine Games.
they just used the id Tech.
They should just let those guys develop their games from now on.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Just get Bethesda out of fucking making games.
Yeah,
I agree with
let
that.
Machine Games and id make their game.
So
Since
I've
they
got
can make-
Elder Scrolls in
Like they
my
can make an actual engine.
Elder Scrolls in my cart. Firewatch. I hear that's actually a pretty good game. As far I know, it's a walking simulator, but they said the story's pretty good with it.
Yeah, it is.
From what I've seen, it looks like a walking simulator, but more with more interactivity.
It is
than just
so
your
pretty
standard
though.
one.
It is a pretty
Yeah, it's
game.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infamous Second Son. I've actually already platinumed
Great
it.
game.
I just want to buy it just because it's one of them games that I probably might even actually go back to because I had it on physical disc. So it's $19.99. I figure it's not that big of a deal.
It was a great launch
And
game.
Killzone Shadowfall.
Oh, that's a beauty.
I actually never finished the campaign, so
It
I figured
really
for
is pretty.
$19.99 that I'll go back and play the campaign and finish it.
Yeah, I have that
I
game.
mean, it looks nice, but 30 FPS. I can't play that.
It's
60.
not that bad.
Wait, what?
The multiplayer is 60, isn't it?
Well, the
For sure.
multiplayer.
Yeah,
unlocks the frame rate.
I
It
think
doesn't
multiplayer.
quite get there, but-
Yeah.
And I think the actual campaign is 60. I think. I could be wrong. Let me see.
Wow.
Killzone.
I'm pretty sure the campaign is 30.
It might
Based
be
on my memory.
since I've talked about Killzone Shadowfall.
Look up Killzone Shadowfall on Digital Foundry.
Yes. 30 FPS adds force. Killzone Shadowfall patch adds force 30. Wait,
Oh,
it
never mind.
says
And originally
the Killzone
was
Shadowfall patch
uncapped, but
adds
it's hovered around
force
30.
30 frames per second option. Well, that's not
Okay.
a fucking option if it's forced. You don't ask.
What? Yeah.
No. It option to force it to lock to 30. But like, I get what it is. It hovers around 30 to 40 in the campaign normally, but you can have the option to set it to lock it to 30 rather.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
All right, so Killzone and what else, Rambo?
I'm actually trying to figure out if I want to buy Yakuza 0 because I started playing that on whenever I had the disc, but then I sold on my disc,
Yeah.
back and forth between that and maybe picking up the first Kingdom Hearts. What's it called? Disc or collection or whatever.
There's a collection that's got like I think the first 2 games and a bunch of the well, they're not really spin-offs. They're actual games that are a part of the story because like first it's Kingdom Hearts, then there's Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance for some reason, and then Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of progression is this?
Right.
Yeah, but they the way that they've actually put the stories or whatever the game's actually in whenever you go onto the disc or whatever when you load it up, it's actually just in the order the story is actually done. So it's actually in the correct order where you don't have to worry about trying to figure out which one comes next.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice.
That's very smart.
I did pre-order the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn because it was on sale for PlayStation Plus members, like for $14.99.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good price. Yeah,
As
definitely.
opposed to what?
As opposed to $19.99.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be more than that.
No, seeing actually going into the store, being able to see like God of War, Days Gone, Detroit, all those things in the store, where you can pre-order them. That's actually I haven't, obviously I don't have the money to pre-order all these different games, but it's actually nice to actually see these games in the store because that means they're coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Sony doesn't put the games in the store that it's going to be like releasing over a year away because of the fact that they don't want to if it's over like 365 days then they refund your money to you.
Yeah.
Speaking of DLC, I grabbed the DLC for Final Fantasy 15, the Gladius story.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, that was a hell of a ride, that's for sure.
I need to go through mine and beat it.
Oh yeah,
Actually.
Final Fantasy 15 exists. I
It's
forgot.
a great game. It really is. It's a great game.
I've never. I completely I saw it at the first E3 that it was shown at, and then I sort of just forgot about it because I didn't see anything else for it in the coming weeks, months, year after that.
Huh. So
I keep forgetting it exists.
Right. So Rambo, what have you been playing?
Just the Tekken and then the.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you did Tekken.
Yeah, I played a little. I forgot what else I said I've been playing, but I played a little bit of the Nier Automata again last night. But yeah, Killing Floor 2, those two things.
Oh, man.
Nice, very nice.
How is Nier Automata, by the way?
It's actually a wonderful game, man.
The music is
platinum, I guess.
I would recommend for anybody to pick up.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for coming on board. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out with Rambo. I'm gonna give us a little time with our audience. I want to say thank you again, Ziad, for the great work you do in the server. Rokon, thank you for being a part of our community, the both of you.
Thank you.
More than likely, if this keeps happening, where like certain members aren't gonna be able to come up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna customize the banners so that way, if our main members aren't going to be here, I can just put your guys' stuff in there. And it'll help you guys out as well. So, I also, for those of you that don't know, I've added the Discord so that way people can actually see who the hell's talking. That was a huge thing. So people kept getting me and Rags confused, or Rambo and Shane, and we don't sound anything alike, and yet people were like, "Is that Rags?" I'm like, "What?"
You guys don't sound alike, but to be fair, I did actually get before I get to actually talk with you guys, I got Rambo and Shaner mixed up in the beginning.
I don't know how.
Not in terms of voice, but just name association.
All right, so
I was going because we don't sound like a lot at all.
Right?
No. You guys sound way different.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys. So, if you guys have if you guys have a YouTube if you guys have YouTube channels, I suggest you go ahead and shout yourselves out real quick.
Let me just skip my link. Can I just post in the chat?
Or you can just tell the audience where they could find you. That'd be good.
Just on
Trust me, that will go further, bro. That will go further.
YouTube.com/ZYAD48. ZYAD48. It's there. It just goes to it.
All right, sounds good. Rokon?
Yeah, you can just find me on youtube.com/Nero02009. It used to be my old YouTube name, but YouTube is finicky with that stuff. Or you can just Google Rokon, either one.
All right, sounds good. And I'm going to go ahead and do this.
I'm going to bounce for now.
All right, bro. Good having you.
Yeah, same to you. See ya.
Late. All right. Rambo, it was a pretty good show tonight. What do you think?
Yeah. It was. I didn't expect the members. I actually thought that since I saw Geek or Shaner online in the Discord that he would be in here, but
yeah, I didn't think he was gonna be here either. I thought he was gonna be going to the doctors tonight because he has been in a lot of pain lately, and taking care of all those kids and the neighbors' kids is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, as far as everybody is wondering, where the hell is Rags? I would like to know that myself. I'm sure Rambo would. We try to hit him up on Twitter. He never answers us, really. I think our schedules are probably at like the opposite ends again, which happens quite a bit. He works a job that he gets random hours just like I do. So, we're always a hit and miss with one another. So, I hope to see him on the show again. For those of you that are interested in being in the podcast with myself and Rambo and Geek, try to hit me up on Discord or Rambo, or better yet, it's probably best just to tag us in on Twitter, because
Twitter.
We've been answering our Twitter like crazy.
Twitter is definitely better for me because I don't pull Discord up unless it's like podcast day or whatever, simply because like it goes my notifications go insane when I log into Discord, so I keep that off, and then my Twitter is definitely the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, okay, so anybody that has a question, follow both myself, Rambo's Corner, Geek Essentials, and Rags, and make sure you @ us to let us know if you want to be on the show of that night. Now, I'm not going to be able to answer you right away all the time, but I'm sure one of us four will be able to get to you in a pretty timely manner. We're usually pretty good about it, actually. If I can't get you right away, I'll try to get you either after work or like on a lunch break, and I'll answer you guys. But honestly, tonight's show was pretty good. We kept it really about gaming. I'd say this is probably like the first of what, 2 or 3 that we've been able to do that with.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
So overall, Rambo, I didn't get this answer out of you over the E3 talk that me and Shane had. So I want to go ahead and ask you, overall with E3 and everything you saw, on a scale of A to D, what did you think of E3 as a whole with what you saw?
Probably a B, maybe.
Hey, we're all in the same boat. I said B minus.
Yeah,
Shane said B.
There's a lot of games I'm excited for. But I mean, it wasn't like anything that I was just blown out of the water by. It was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you and me both agreed that Bethesda was crap. We didn't really care for anybody else besides Xbox, Sony. Everybody else was just kind of meh, and yeah.
I mean, disappointed me with like I was so kind of like hyped up for Xbox E3 because of the executives just went all in on Twitter with the chips in their mouths and like tweeting out the picture of the chip going, I'm bringing this chip with me, and all this bullshit about power and all this. And then so whenever all this kind of build up, you thought, man, they got something good. You know, they got something really good to show.
Right, I agree. Well, you guys down in the comment sections, by all means, if you feel that you want to put and weigh in on this, in the comment section of this video, please, from A to D, what was your overall ranking of E3 with all the things that you've seen? It's pretty much a B all around. It's a unanimous thing here on the podcast. I don't know. Rags will probably give it an F because he doesn't really care either way. So, so Rambo, do you have any other content coming your way? Now, I know you did some videos recently. I didn't get to finish them. But is there anything you got coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, I'm actually working on. I've been going back and watching all of Microsoft's E3s and Sony's E3s from 2013 to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I did I'm doing a spreadsheet for each game announced. What like immediately as soon as they were announced, I wrote them down.
Yeah.
In the kind of the order, and then I'm going through there and seeing how many of these games were actually released. How many of these games weren't or canceled, or just haven't been heard from ever again, and how many of these were actually repeats from one E3 to another to another to another. And then I'm actually going to narrow down, like, because I put like all the multi-plats and everything, every game that they actually announced on each stage, but then I'm going to narrow it down to like how many actual exclusives each company announced from 2013 to 2017 to see if the trend is going up with exclusives or if it's actually narrowing with the amount of exclusives being announced.
Yeah.
I just want to see like where each company is actually headed, and I plan on doing a video kind of showing the difference between the two once I get all the different things worked out. I have made it through all the E3s. Now it's just all a matter of like pinpointing putting all the numbers and stuff into it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that'd be interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to your video. I'll of course tweet it out, let everybody know about it. For those of you that don't know, of course, he does have a YouTube channel, which you'll be able to find down below in the comments section. Make sure you tell us what you guys thought about the video of tonight's cast. Did you guys like the kind of modified format? I'm kind of experimenting with new things with the intro music, the outro music, which, by the way, I have to give a shout out to Rewind Remix. Thanks for supporting the show, bro, and thank you for letting me use your music. He's also one of our supporters as far as our community members go, and I just want to say again, thanks again, Rewind, for all that you do with your music. You do great work. Now, he also, if you guys make music, will allow you to stream your music as long as you've made it on his channel. So that's definitely something to look forward to if you're like a DJ or a music creative mind person. So there is that. As far as my channel goes, I do plan on getting some videos going myself. I've been really lacking, and it's also why I've been sort of trying to play with the idea of possibly doing other kind of casts besides Game Talk. I do have the channel ready to go. I have the bank accounts and shit ready. I just got to get everything finalized within the next week, and then we'll be over there on the Game Talk channel doing this, and it will be a dedicated Game Talk podcast channel, and that's where more content will come up just for us on that. And everybody will have access to the keys to stream and everybody will have access to everything when it comes to the members of this cast. So, Rambo, I hope everything goes well with your collection, sir. I see it's getting bigger. Destiny 2, man, I am looking forward to it. I mean, you did kind of make me like Destiny 1. I didn't think I was going to be possible, but that is something I am sort of looking forward to, along with Anthem. Anthem looks like it's going to be a badass fucking game.
Yeah, Anthem definitely looks good.
Oh yeah,
it's actually 4K 30 as well, 30 frames per second.
Is it really? Man, I hope it plays good.
I hope so too. I mean, even though Destiny's 30 frames per second, it still feels good. So I'm hoping that Anthem's able to actually mimic that as well. So,
you guys like the format? Well, I do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much. And as far as streaming more, that's a conversation that myself, Rambo, Geek, and Rags will have to come up with because, like I said, I work a really random schedule. But you know what? With everybody having access, you guys will be able to stream whenever you like. So if you want to see Rambo play a game or something, I'm sure he would have no problem doing it there. Same with myself, Geek Essentials, and even Rags. So, like I said, stay tuned. Just give you a little bit more time. I finally decided to get this going, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go all the way with this, and hopefully we can reach at a higher grounds with this. So again, thank you to everybody that showed up tonight. You guys are fucking amazing. You guys rock. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. All four of us do. And again, thank you guys. Have a great night. And Rambo has to pop Viagra just to have fun.
Exactly.